I can't have my friends getting lost abroad. So today I am here with episode 3 of International Travel Fears Lost Abroad. So I have prevention, tips, and advice for what you should do if you actually get lost. If you follow my guide, getting lost will be a thing of the past. So let's dive into tip number 1, Google Maps. Google is your best friend. It works outside of the United States just like it does inside of the United States, no matter where you are. So I just put in Missouri Botanical Gardens. As you all know, I live in St. Louis, and bam, look at that. It literally routes it for you, and you just hit start. I don't want to hit start, obviously, because I don't want it to tell, where I am. Walking is 8 hours. Bicycle is 2 hours, and you can literally just use Google Maps to find your way around. And another important thing about Google Maps that I love that I wanted to share with you all is that you can download it. So you can download a country. So let me type in, let's say we're going to Johannesburg, a city. So I typed in Johannesburg, a city in South Africa. You can see there. And then right down here, it has download. So I click download. And I can literally download the map. So guess what? That baby will work offline. So if you're not connected to Wi-Fi or your cell phone fails you, you have the country map downloaded, so it will work offline. Yay! Tip number 2 is to map out your trip. Very seldom am I aimlessly walking around in a country or city. I normally map out exactly what I want to do. In this example, we're going to use Taiwan because that was the most recent area I was in where I was new to the city, never been to Taiwan, and I was off on my own. I had my map, and I set out to explore the city. So I mapped everything out. From the airport, I knew I wanted to go to a temple, get something to eat near the temple, and then make my way to the mall and then back to the airport. So map everything out and decide what you want to do, and use a map to say, I'm going to go from point A to point B. This way you have an agenda, and the likelihood of getting lost is a little bit slimmer. But when I do aimlessly walk around, I always have a mental note of exactly where I am. For example, when I was in Taiwan and I took the train, I made a mental note. I knew exactly where the train was. So when I did walk to the temple, I always thought about where the temple was in reference to the train station. Then when I left the temple and went to get something to eat, I always thought about where the train was in relation to where I was going to get something to eat. If you take a location and make a mental note and keep it in the back of your mind as to where it's located, the likelihood of you getting lost is a little bit slimmer as well, because you always have that point of reference. I know this may seem old school, but it works. So my next tip is to use a map. When I was in Taiwan, I was at the airport. I marked that location on my map, and then I marked each destination that I was traveling to, my final destination, and how I was getting back to the airport. So in the event that all my other tips failed, I had my map to get me exactly where I needed to be. Another tip, before you venture off, ask someone at your hotel, how do you get to a certain place, and write it down, literally step by step. When I was in Jerusalem, I needed directions to get to a certain restaurant. So I asked my front desk if they knew where the restaurant was and how to get there. And she literally gave me step-by-step directions. You go down 2 blocks, you make a right on such and such street, you go down another block, you make a left. I literally wrote down everything she said word for word. I had my other tips, so I had another method of getting there. But in the event if that failed me, I also had step-by-step instructions on how to get to my destination from someone who lives in the area who knows it very well. My next tip is to let monuments work to your advantage. Is your hotel or the place where you're traveling to near, say you're in Paris, is it near the Eiffel Tower? If you're in Cape Town, is it near the VA waterfront? Use something popular in the area to always get a point of reference so that you have a less likelihood of getting lost. Along with the monuments, you always want to familiarize yourself with the location. Just kind of think about things in the area, and become familiar with it. So when you walk outside, okay, there's a bank over here, there's a popular restaurant here. just kind of become familiar with your area. Make mental notes as you're walking around, when you're checking your luggage, when you're speaking to people. Always kind of keep that in the back of your head of exactly where you are. This may seem like a no-brainer, but use Uber or a driver. If you're using a driver, the likelihood of you getting lost is really slim to none. They're from the area, they know the area, they get you where you need to be. If something happens, they know how to find out exactly where they are. They're from the area, they can get on the phone, hey, how do I get here? You know, or they'll get on Google Maps, or you can help them. But if you have a driver, I promise you, I don't think I've ever gotten lost with a driver. They may have just not known how to get somewhere, and they were able to quickly pull it up. It was really simple. Now, obviously, the country may not have Uber service, but they'll have something hopefully similar to it. But if not, just a cab service. They know all the popular places, restaurants. Normally, if you're traveling, the cab driver will know exactly where it is that you're trying to go. Let's discuss some tips that'll help you prevent getting lost. My number one tip is to always keep the address of your hotel and where you're traveling to written down. I would get a business card with the hotel name and address on it, and then preferably, if you can, also get the address in their language. And not only that, but you want to have a paper copy and an electronic copy. And I like to write down the address of where I'm going, the address of my hotel, and the telephone number. I always have this information. This is information that you gather during your research process. So you have this information readily available in your phone and on a piece of paper that you'll keep, while you're traveling. I think memorization is key. If you can memorize your hotel name, that's a little bit easier. Train stations, destinations you're traveling to, monuments, landmarks, different places you're going. If you can memorize the names of them along with street addresses, that probably will work a little bit better for you. And it'll just help you to keep those things in your mind. You always have your backup, but just make it easy for yourself. My next tip is to learn common words. Hello, bye, please, thank you, excuse me, do you know how to get to, help. Common phrases to help you in the event that you're lost or you need some help, or just to be courteous. If someone sees that you're trying to learn the language, they are more likely to help you. In our next video, we will get into how to overcome language barriers. But for lost abroad, definitely learn some common phrases so that when you do ask for help, it's a courteous manner and it'll win them over so that they're more likely to help you. Always carry a portable charger with you. If your electronic device dies, you can easily charge it back up. I have like a little, let me see. It's right here. It's a little lipstick. Isn't it cute? So I carry it with me everywhere. I got this on Amazon. I don't leave home without it. I have 3 of them actually. And I charge it up. It takes about, 3-4 hours to charge. I charge them all before I leave on vacation and during vacation. And then you can just see here, you just plug in your phone. And it's been a lifesaver because, you're taking pictures, you're doing a lot. And not only for your phone, but for your camera or anything, any electronic device that you're traveling with that can go dead. It's going to be a lifesaver. Before you travel, always do your research. The research process is where you gather whether they have Uber or an Uber type service. What is the best cab company to use? Because if you, in the event, do get lost and you hop into a cab, you want to make sure that it's a reputable cab service. So make sure you do your research. Put a document in your phone. I like to use the notes area in my phone, and I list everything: hotel, names, addresses, places I'm going, the address to the places I'm going, the best cab service, telephone numbers. And it's simple, it's quick, and it can be a lifesaver if you do find yourself lost abroad. Okay, so you're lost abroad. Now what do? The first thing I want you to do is just to stop. Breathe, relax, inhale, exhale. It is okay. If you panic, it's just going to make everyone uneasy. You're not going to think clearly, and it's going to be harder for you to find your way back to where you're trying to go. So just relax and breathe in and out. Okay, see how easy that was? Okay, now let's get into some serious steps. So the first thing that you want to do is ask a local. They're from the area. They most likely know where you're trying to get to, and they can offer a huge help so that you get to where you're trying to go. They are more than willing to help you. Now, if you don't feel safe asking, a random person, obviously safety is very important. You can go to a shop, restaurant, just if you're near a hotel, any type of establishment that is set up for business, and ask someone, at the front desk or the counter if they can help you get to, the train station, the mall, King David Hotel, or wherever it is you're trying to go. Locals have been more than gracious everywhere I've gone. I've never had an issue getting help. Sometimes they've even asked me before I even, could ask for help because I looked lost. So locals more than willing to help. So that is a good option. Retrace your steps. Take the time and think, where did I just come from? What was I doing? Where was the last place that I visited? What was I thinking? Where was I going? Take the time to retrace your steps, and a lot of times that will solve the problem. You're like, oh, okay, you know what? I was coming from this direction. I just came from the temple. The train station is this way. I'm in this vicinity, so I need to go straight. Just take the time to kind of stop and think. Once you retrace your steps, it's kind of like when you're looking for your keys that you lost, and you think about, okay, where were they? 9 times out of 10, once you do that, it appears. So the same thing with traveling. If you find yourself lost, take the time to retrace your steps and think about what you were actually doing, and that most likely will solve the problem. One of the best options is to get in a cab and let them take you where you need to go. If you are lost, time out, sis. Call it quits. Hop in a cab and you're on your merry way. Simple, easy, solves the problem. You're good. Another way that locals can help you is if it's a situation where you need to connect with someone and you're having phone issues, let them make the call for you. I was in China and I got separated from my guide. I was outside of a location and she was on the inside. We were at Forbidden City. No, not the Forbidden City. Somewhere else. I can't remember. But basically, it was like the palace or something of that nature, to where when you leave, you couldn't get back in unless you purchased another ticket. So basically, I had someone at like the front gate area call her. She picked up, we connected, bam, she came and got me. I went back in and we were done. So another different type of situation, but local was able to offer assistance. If it is a situation to where you're having cellular issues, you can always, most places that I've been have Wi-Fi. Cut on your connection, get connected to Wi-Fi, and find your way out of the situation. 9 times out of 10, it's just a matter of, getting inside your phone, looking up a map, or making a call to someone. Once you connect to Wi-Fi, you have all those resources, or even if it's calling the hotel or a friend or a family member, you have the resources to get you where you need to be. So I just wanted to say, if you get lost, I promise you, it is not the end of the world. When I had never been to Taiwan, I took a map, I took my phone, and I actually picked up a couple strangers on the way because they didn't want to travel alone, and I looked like a friendly face to travel with. We took the train all over the city. We went to temples. We went out to eat. We went shopping. We took the train to the mall, went to Taipei 101, one of the tallest buildings in the world. There's beauty in being lost. It's not going to be the end of the world. I promise you it will work out. We were looking at our map at the station. Someone asked, do you need help? I got on the train going the wrong direction, realized that because I had my map, hey, this isn't the right way, so let me get off. Got off, went into the right direction. When we were at the train station, a couple of times we had to ask, the attendant questions, but it all worked out. We figured it out. We had an amazing day. I went to Chanel. I shopped, and it was fine. You will totally be okay. I promise you. I wanted to take this time to say rest in peace to my Aunt Cynthia. She unfortunately lost her battle with cancer, but she said something very profound to me about a year ago. She stated she doesn't have a daily goal, a weekly goal, or a yearly goal. She is living for today. And that just touched me because so often we worry about tomorrow and next week and next year. And unfortunately, that may or may not come. But what we do have is we have right now and we have today. So I want all of you to just live your best life, travel, have fun, get out here and just enjoy it. It's a beautiful world, beautiful earth. Just whatever makes you happy in life, do it and do it to the fullest. Live your best life with no regrets, good, bad, indifferent, regardless of what anyone has to say. Live your life for you. And that's all I have. So next week we will discuss getting over language barriers. So I hope to see you back, and please subscribe to my channel. And as always, International Travel Fears, I'm out.